Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at a research paper that's all about Unbounded.
Unbounded.
And it's being called an infinite game.
Hmm.
And they're not just exaggerating, it actually uses AI to make up the rules and the story.
And even what it looks like.
Yeah, as you play.
It really changes how we think about games, right? I mean, we're so used to having levels,
Yeah.
stories that are already written, limits, basically. Unbounded says, nope to all that.
We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of this research paper, and I'll be honest,
Oh, yeah.
it can get pretty technical. But the ideas here,
Yeah.
they're mind-blowing. Imagine, like, mixing The Sims with Tamagotchi,
Uh-huh.
and then throwing in that open-ended storytelling you get from, like, a D&D campaign.
That's a really good way to put it.
And it's all powered by AI.
Yeah, it takes those games we know and love, and it cranks it up, takes it to a whole other level. So in Unbounded, you don't just make a character.
Right.
You use something called Dream Booth Loras to really shape who they are.
Dream Booth. What now?
Lores.
Lores. I'm already lost.
Okay. Think of it this way. It's like showing the AI a whole photo album of your character.
Ah, okay.
You're basically feeding it details
Okay.
about how they look, what their personality's like.
Yeah.
So it can build a character that's truly unique, just like you imagined them.
So let's say I want to make a wizard, right? But he's, like, super mischievous,
Uh-huh.
but also terrified of heights.
Yeah.
The AI would actually make that part of the game.
Exactly. The AI weaves all those quirks and traits right into how the game world works.
Wow.
So, yeah, maybe your cowardly knight always avoids a fight.
Yeah.
Or your bookish wizard, they'd rather hang out in the library than go fight a dragon.
That's wild. It's like the AI is writing the story with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's constantly adapting, reacting. You get this emergent gameplay where anything can happen.
Right.
It's not about following a path someone already set for you.
Yeah.
That's about truly becoming your character and seeing where they take you.
That's cool.
And get this, it does all of this in real time.
Real time.
New scenes. Boom, less than a second.
Less than a second. Man, back in my day, we were waiting like 5 minutes for a level to load.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The secret sauce here is that Unbounded uses this really streamlined kind of AI, a large language model.
Right.
Or LLM for short. They basically took this really powerful AI model,
Okay.
Gemma 2B.
Gemma 2B.
And they trained a smaller, faster version of it to be like the game engine itself.
So is this shrunk down a supercomputer?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And made it run a game at lightning speed.
Okay, but if it's smaller, does that mean it can't do as much? Can it really handle a whole game world that's constantly changing?
So that's where things get even more clever. They actually use two much bigger LLMs, the big brains,
A big brain.
to train this smaller one. It's like a master class in game development.
Yeah.
Taught by the most advanced AI out there.
So you have two super smart AIs teaching this little one.
Exactly. Basically, they had the big LLMs play against each other.
Oh, wow.
Simulated thousands of players.
Yeah.
Tons of data. And all of that was used to train the smaller one.
So the smaller LLM, the one actually running the game, it's learned from all these like practice games.
That's right.
And that gives it this huge knowledge base to work with.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
how it creates such a dynamic, unpredictable game.
So it's not just making stuff up randomly.
Right,
It's
yeah.
using this giant library of possibilities.
Right.
Shaped by like your choices and your character.
Absolutely.
All right. So the specialized LLM, that's the brain behind Unbounded.
Yeah.
Writing the story, responding to what you do.
Uh-huh.
But what about the visuals?
Right.
How does the AI actually create what we see on the screen?
Now that's where it gets even more interesting. They came up with this new technique. It's called the regional IP adapter.
Regional IP adapter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine it like having this behind-the-scenes editor,
Okay.
making sure everything looks right, even though those scenes are being made in real time.
I'm listening. How does it work?
So let's say your character is walking through a forest, right?
Okay.
The AI has to make a new picture for every single step they take.
Yeah.
The IP adapter makes sure that your character looks the same in each picture,
Ah, okay.
even if the background is changing around them.
Right. So it's not just about making things look pretty. It's
Right.
about making it feel like a real world.
Exactly. That's what the IP adapter is for.
Okay.
It uses these things called dynamic masks based on attention maps.
Yeah.
Basically, it lets the AI focus on certain parts of the image.
Okay.
So your character's appearance stays consistent.
Yeah.
while everything else around them can change.
So, like, if my character has a bright red cloak, it'll look the same no matter where they go.
Exactly. It could be a forest, a cage, a city. That cloak stays the same.
That's crazy. And this IP adapter, it does that for the environment, too. So if
Exactly.
there's a mountain in the distance, it always looks right.
Yep. No matter where your character is.
Makes the world feel whole.
Cohesive.
Yeah.
Believable.
Pretty impressive. It sounds like they figured out something that's been a real problem for these AI-generated games.
Yeah, absolutely.
But is this just theory? Do we actually get to see Unbounded in action?
Oh, yeah. They actually show some examples in the paper.
Right.
Figure 3, I think. It shows how the AI reacts to what the player tells it to do.
Ah.
You can tell your character, go hunt a dragon,
Yeah.
explore the city,
Yeah.
and the AI makes scenes based on that.
So it's not just random scenes.
No, no, no.
It's actually building a story from your actions.
Exactly. And the research shows it's really good at keeping everything consistent, visually and in the story.
This is starting to feel like the future of games.
I think so.
But we've covered a lot already.
Yeah, we have.
What's next in our deep dive into Unbounded?
Well, we talked about how it works, the techie stuff. Now let's talk about the why. Why does Unbounded even matter? What does it tell us about where games are going, maybe even beyond games? We've talked about all the cool tech behind Unbounded, but what really makes it special is how it could change how we experience games. And stories, even.
Okay, now you got me curious. What makes it so different from the games we're used to?
Well, Unbounded, it's not about just sitting back and playing through a story someone else made.
Right.
It's about you working with the AI to make your own story.
So it's not like I'm playing a character in their story. It's like
Right.
we're both writing it together.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
this never-ending storybook that changes based on what you decide to do.
Okay.
And since the AI is always learning, there's really no limit to what can happen.
No more feeling stuck, huh?
No.
No more limits. But how does that actually work when you're playing? Like, what's it feel like to play a game that's infinite?
So imagine you're starting Unbounded for the first time. You're making your character,
Right.
but you're not just picking from like a list of options. You're telling the AI everything about them,
Oh, wow.
like what they're afraid of,
Yeah.
what they want to achieve,
No way.
even their weird little quirks.
So it's not just like picking a class or whatever. It's
Yeah.
more about making a real character with like depth.
Absolutely. And when you start playing, the AI uses all that to create the game.
Cool.
So if you made a shy character, they might not want to go into a dark cave,
Right. Makes sense.
but a reckless character, they might just run right in. The AI is always watching what you do
Oh, wow.
and changing things to fit your character.
So it feels like it's made just for me.
Yeah. And you never know what's going to happen next because it's always making new stuff.
Okay.
Could be an adventure.
Yeah.
Maybe you meet someone special
Right.
or, just a quiet moment. It's all part of what makes Unbounded so cool.
It does sound like the ultimate sandbox. You can be whoever you want, do whatever you want.
Right. No limits.
But that much freedom, it's got to be hard to keep the story like making sense, right?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the most impressive things about Unbounded.
Okay.
Remember those big, powerful LLMs?
Yeah.
The ones they used to train the smaller one that runs the game?
Yeah. The big brains.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're key to keeping the story straight.
So even though I'm choosing what happens, the AI is making sure it all fits together.
Yeah. Think of it like improv, like a theater group.
Okay.
The actors, that's you and the AI.
All right.
You're both reacting to each other live.
Yeah.
But there's still a director.
Right.
The big LLMs making sure the story is good.
It's like a balance, right?
Exactly.
Between what I want and what the AI thinks should happen.
Mm-hmm.
But how does the AI even know what kind of story to tell? Does it have like pre-written plots or something?
No, that's the cool part. Unbounded doesn't use pre-written stories at all.
Really?
It takes stuff from mythology,
Oh, wow.
books, history, even pop culture.
Wow.
It can mix all of that together to make a story that feels familiar, but also totally new.
So the AI is like a master storyteller, taking inspiration from everywhere.
Exactly. And because it's always learning, the stories just get better and better.
This is blowing my mind. Can I play Unbounded right now? Is it out?
Ah, there's the catch. Right now, it's just research.
Oh, come on.
The paper we're talking about, it explains how it works and what it could do. But you can't actually play it yet.
Man, that's a bummer. It sounds amazing.
I know. But even though we can't play it, it shows us where games could be going.
So what does this mean for games then? Are traditional games like over?
I wouldn't say over, but things are definitely changing. Unbounded shows what AI can do. You can make games that feel truly unique,
Right.
that are always changing, and that never really ends.
It's like the difference between like a choose your own adventure book and having someone tell you a story just for you.
Exactly. And it's not just games either. Think about education or training people for jobs, even therapy.
Whoa, hold on. Let's dive into that. That sounds like we're moving beyond just fun and games here. We were talking about how Unbounded could like revolutionize gaming.
Yeah.
But you brought up some other things too, like education, training,
Right.
even therapy.
It's not just about fun and games. This tech could be a real game changer, pun intended.
All right, I'm all ears.
So think about how we learn.
Okay.
What if, instead of boring old textbooks, you had these AI-powered simulations?
Oh, okay.
And they adapted to how you learn best.
So instead of just reading about ancient Rome,
Yeah.
I'm like walking around in it.
Exactly. You're interacting with people, maybe even, fighting as a gladiator. Virtually, of course.
I mean, that sounds way more exciting than a textbook.
And the AI can make it harder or easier depending on how you're doing.
Oh, okay.
It's like having a personal tutor who knows exactly what you need.
That's amazing. What about like training for a job?
Huge potential there, too. Think about learning to fly a plane
Okay, yeah.
or performing surgery.
High stakes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You could have an AI flight simulator that throws all kinds of crazy stuff at you.
Oh, wow.
Or a surgical sim that's so real, surgeons can practice before they ever operate on a real person.
So we're talking about like really blurring the lines between the game and real life.
It's a whole new level of learning by doing.
You mentioned therapy earlier.
Oh, yeah, that's where it gets really exciting. Imagine a virtual world
Okay.
where you can safely face your fears,
Right.
practice talking to people if that's hard for you. The AI could even be the other people.
Whoa.
So you could, rehearse tough conversations,
Okay.
work through your emotions.
So it's like role playing, but with an AI coach.
Exactly. And since it's virtual, there's less pressure, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can try things out without worrying about messing up in real life.
This is all incredible, but we have to talk about the downsides, right? I mean, this is powerful stuff.
Of course, yeah. Anytime you have technology this powerful, you got to think about the ethics.
Could it be used for bad stuff?
That's the question, right? And it's something researchers and developers are really thinking about. Like any tool, it depends on who's using it and what they're using it for.
So it's not about the tech being good or bad.
Right.
It's about making sure we use it the right way.
Absolutely. And that's a conversation we all need to be part of.
Yeah.
Not just the scientists,
Right.
but everyone. We got to figure out the rules and make sure this tech makes the world better, not worse.
Heavy stuff to think about.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into Unbounded,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all this?
I think the biggest thing is we're at the beginning of something huge.
Okay.
The way we create and experience stories, how we learn,
Yeah.
even just how we interact with the world.
Right.
It's all about to change.
Yeah.
AI isn't just for robots and data anymore.
Right.
It's becoming part of our creativity.
Yeah.
Helping us learn and grow.
And Unbounded is just one example.
Yeah.
It shows what happens when we combine the power of AI with our own ingenuity and imagination. It's a peek into a future where the lines between reality and virtuality are blurred, where the possibilities are endless. So keep exploring, keep questioning, keep diving deep.
This has been The Deep Dive.